In the early days of the American colonies, justice was swift and brutal. Public hangings were a grim spectacle, drawing crowds from miles around. The gallows were a grim reminder of the harsh punishments for even minor crimes. The first recorded hanging in the American colonies took place in 1630, when John Billington was executed in Plymouth, Massachusetts, for murder. The gruesome nature of the execution set the tone for the centuries to come. Chapter 2: The Hangman's Craft. Hangings were a macabre art form. Executioners, often masked, to conceal their identity, were the unsung heroes of the gallows. They developed a gruesome expertise, knowing the exact drop needed to snap a neck cleanly or the length of rope required to ensure a slow and agonizing strangulation. One infamous executioner, known only as the Rope Master, boasted a perfect record. He had a chilling efficiency, earning him the nickname the Reaper of Souls. His services came at a high price, but he was worth every penny. Chapter 3: The Public Spectacle. As time passed, public hangings became a form of entertainment. Families would pack picnic lunches and make a day of it, watching as the condemned met their fate. Vendors sold refreshments, and children played games nearby, oblivious to the horror unfolding. One particularly gruesome spectacle was the long drop, a method intended to break the neck instantly. When performed correctly, it was a swift and merciful end. However, botched hangings were not uncommon, leading to excruciating deaths. Chapter 4: Famous Hangings. The history of American hangings is littered with infamous names. Lavinia Fisher, America's first female serial killer, was hanged in 1820 in Charleston, South Carolina. Her execution drew a massive crowd eager to witness her demise. Then there was the tragic tale of Mary Surratt, one of the conspirators in the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. Her hanging in 1865 sent shockwaves through the nation. She maintained her innocence to the end, but the noose cared not for her protestations. Chapter 5: Money for Old Rope. The phrase money for old rope originated from the grim trade of hangings. After an execution, the ropes used to carry out the sentence were often sold as gruesome souvenirs. People believed that these ropes held supernatural powers or could bring good luck. Entrepreneurs seized the opportunity, profiting from the sale of old rope to a morbidly fascinated public. Even undertakers would purchase the used ropes for their own sinister purposes, believing they had a connection to the afterlife. Chapter 6: The End of an Era. As the 19th century drew to a close, attitudes towards public hangings began to change. The cruel spectacle and the risk of botched executions led to a growing movement against the practice. States began to adopt more private methods of execution, such as the electric chair and the gas chamber. In 1892, the last public hanging took place in the United States. The era of public executions was over, but the dark legacy of hangings lingered on in the collective memory of the nation. Chapter 7: Haunting Echoes. Even today, the ghosts of those who met their end on the gallows are said to haunt the places where they died. The eerie creak of an old rope, and the anguished cries of the condemned still echo in the darkest corners of American history. As we look back on the grim history of hangings in early America, we are reminded of the brutality of the past. The gallows have fallen silent, but their legacy lives on, a chilling reminder of the horrors of justice served at the end of a rope.